Here's a peek at what guests had to say after the show.
Okay, we're back on the internet. Kareem, should college athletes be paid?
Yes.
Next question. Yeah, again, that seems pretty obvious at this point, right? I mean, that's been a slowly building issue, but I feel like the momentum now...
They've been exploited for years.
For years, yeah. And you know, maybe if they paid them, they would also make them learn a little more, because I feel like they get so that's the deal, is that we don't pay you and you don't have to study.
Right.
Yeah.
Then they go right to the NBA and screw up.
Right. Often they do.
Yeah, because they don't know the game.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed in the NC2A this year, Wisconsin was not as athletic as the rest of the teams, but they were competitive because they understood the game. They were very well coached. That's why they went as far as they did. If they had some athletic talent, they probably would have won the whole thing.
Right. Six-time MVP. Come on, you can't, you know, scoring leader, 6 rings. Let's pretend he's not here. Who's the greatest? Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or Michael Jordan? I mean, those are, yeah, it's very hard. Yeah, LeBron. Well, his career isn't over yet. Yeah, we don't know. We'll see. But yeah, all right. Do you think Republicans are smart to escalate the issue of Benghazi before the elections? I don't, but you know, maybe they'll find something there. They haven't yet. No. It's crazy, right? I mean, they thought this week they had this smoking gun, and I hear all the people on Fox News say, smoking gun, smoking gun, smoking gun. And then, and what is it? What is it? Yeah. There's just never any there.
Yeah. Well, no, it's absurd. I mean, and it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, it's this last week, the obsession of the Obamacare seemed to wane a little bit, and they went back to the old golden oldie, Benghazi. But which shows defensive.
At least you would think that at least they would want to be politically smart. They must read the polls that show Americans made up their mind on this a long.
They don't even know what the hell it is.
It must have worked before, though.
Yeah.
We do know what it is.
I mean, it must have worked before. Why is a strategy of doing.
You don't even know what it is, and you know the story, right?
Yeah, I mean, I watch American politics.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the game of politics, they know what works for their people and the voters, and they just keep repeating the same tactics over and over.
But that's my question, is that this is not working with the voters and never has. So why are they handcuffing themselves to this dead hooker of an issue?
They're catering to their base, which is what politics has turned into now. Everything is about getting that base out there. Do I care about Benghazi? I think something happened, but honestly, I care about the economy. And I think everyone who tries to defer you into these other issues is wasting your time and wasting my time.
Something did happen, but everything that bad happens in the world is not Obama's fault.
Yeah. Or
It's Hillary Clinton's fault.
So this is a two-fold.
That's right.
That's exactly. This one's it's current and future.
But ISA is subpoenaing John Kerry, who wasn't even in the State Department when it happened.
Embarrassing.
What is the purpose
Pathetic.
of that?
I mean, it's the worst grandstanding.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, and now they have their own Twitter website, the whole thing. I mean, it's just a joke.
All right.
Yeah. Well,
All right. How will California position itself to continue to create jobs the way it did in the past?
invest in our growth engines, education, infrastructure, open.
I think this one came from your press secretary.
I have a 10-point plan.
Take that back.
I do recognize the name. Yeah.
It's also.
This is.
There's a focus on STEM that's being promoted by the
STEM, right?
Yeah, science, technology, engineering, and math, and they're gonna focus that on kids in grade school, and that will give them an opportunity for jobs in the 21st century because science, technology, engineering, and math will be the foundation for good jobs.
And Kareem, I agree with one additional letter, A, STEAM, arts, creativity. That's the differential. Add those together, a STEAM movement.
Arts and creativity.
No, arts.
But we already have that.
We have arts. We don't have arts. We've been cutting arts programs, K through 12. We don't have
I don't agree with that.
You're confusing the film industry with art.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, twice as many students get degrees in like the dramatic arts as they do in the STEM fields. We have to stop this nonsense.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, STEM is fundamental, but you've got to bring that added value. You've got to bring that extra, and the extra is the ability to form new connections.
You don't need to teach
more creatively
art in school.
I think
artists are artists. They will out wherever they are.
I think it's I think you know, it's a great quote from Lincoln. We're all born originals, but sadly, too many of us die copies. Life de-geniuses us. It's like art. My kids are incredibly talented, artistic, expressive, and open, and all of a sudden, it's as if school, which is all about conformity, takes that all away. And while I appreciate the STEM, we got to have that arts education. We're passionate about it.
Okay. Gavin, how do you remain so smart and good-looking at the same time? Oh, come on! Who is this?
That's same guy.
The same guy. Yeah. Another. Is there a for you, Monica? Is there a correlation between strong unions and a strong middle class?
Well, I think the idea of wages and the middle class is very important. And so unions in the past have fought for higher wages. And the big issue now is that corporations have too much power. And so the question becomes, how do you seize that power back? We had a healthier economy, in my opinion, decades ago when, again, the employer base was fragmented. There were lots of small companies. When your boss knows who you are, they're less likely to fire you. A small auto body shop is less likely to replace you with a robot than GM because there's some new technology. So there's many different ways to skin this cat. A union helps to push up wages, and what I'm arguing is that having more small businesses again also helps to bring up wages, and that brings a healthier economy.
But we used to have 35% of the country belonged to a union, and now it's 7%. And when you look at the numbers also of how the middle class is shrinking, aren't those, is that just a coincidence? I'm not saying it necessarily is or isn't, but it seems like there is a correlation there.
Well, we've given a lot of power to big companies, and if big companies have this much power over us, you do need unions. But at the same token, I'll remind you that big companies don't just make these laws happen on their own. There's people in government that are complicit. 50% of politicians now go with the revolving door into the private sector. It used to be 3%. Right. So, I mean, it's not like someone's coming with a gun or like with a knife and being like, politician, make this happen. I mean, they're complicit. It's happening together.
Yes, well said. Okay, let's get high. Thank you, everybody.
Real Time with Bill Maher. Ask Bill and his guests your questions right after the show at HBO.com or on Twitter.